What's up everyone, DR.FATBODY here, and what we have for you today is something everyone can gain some knowledge from. Today, we're going to be looking at 5 frustrating moves and how to deal with them. These include Birdie's Bull Revenger, Urian's EX Headbutt, Vega's VReversal, Zangief's V-Trigger, and Dolphin's Teleport. While these moves may seem unbeatable, I assure you we have an answer for everything. Before we get into the tech, I want to give a huge shout out to Gfinity. They're hosting one of the biggest European esports events yet, featuring Street Fighter V, Counter-Strike Go, and Rocket League. You can best believe you don't want to miss this event. Stick around at the end of the video for the full rundown of the events. Without further ado, let's take a look at our first frustrating move. First up to bat is a highly frustrating yet easily beat move. Zangief's V-Trigger can be broken down into 2 key things, the suction and the remainder. The number one most important thing to beating this move that most new players are unaware of is the fact that we can safely V-Reversal every single suction attempt. At 16 frames of startup and an additional 16 frames active, this move can be V-Reversaled no matter which level of Cyclone the opponent is using. Additionally, both the activation and the level 1 suction from Zangief's V-Trigger leaves him at -6. Meaning we can simply save our V-meter, punish, and re-establish our neutral game. You will typically see Zangief use this move after crouching jab, standing roundhouse, standing fierce, and standing forward. With this knowledge, we can make any match a hard one for the lovable Russian wrestler. Up next is another move that seems amazing on the surface yet can be shut down in multiple ways. One thing that slips most new players' mind is the ability to standing crush counter this move. While each version may have airborne frames, the end of each version leaves Birdie standing despite his character mod. This means if we calmly wait, we can crush counter it and deal huge damage both in and outside of the game. Sadly, this option won't work versus EX Bull Revenger. When fighting against EX Bull Revenger, we can safely whiff a crouching button to pass under, then follow up with a punish of our choosing. Additionally, if you still feel uncomfortable standing still, we can take advantage of Birdie's long recovery period. Simply jump anytime after the first half of Birdie's animation for an easy and effective punish. A move that I see both high and low level players falling for is Dolphin's Teleport. What this move does is allow Dolphin to remain strike and projectile invincible from frame 1 through 28 while moving a great distance from the opponent, resulting in an amazing wake-up option to escape from pressure. To deal with this move on wake-up, we have 2 options. The first option at our disposal is a simple dash forward option sword. Once Dolphin has been knocked down, we want to position ourselves as close to Dolphin as possible. Next, we're going to want to input any normal button with a recovery window of 10 or less frames and input dash afterwards. What this does is 2 things. If the opponent wakes up and chooses not to teleport, we can safely go into our next normal with no worry of a dash coming out. If the opponent chooses to teleport, we will dash once our normal whiffs and be able to chase Dolphin down for a strong punish of our choice. Our second option for covering wake up teleport are throws. Dolphin's Teleport is throw invincible from frames 5 to 28, meaning both normal and command throws will stop this option as long as we are in a situation where our character is at least +1. Both this and our previous option will guarantee the Dolphin thinks twice before mindlessly teleporting on wake up. Next up is debatably one of the hardest V-Reversals to deal with. Vega's V-Reversal not only reduces his amount of stun, but moves him a good distance from the opponent. At first glance, this move can be highly overwhelming for new players, but rest assured, where there's a will, there's a way. In my studies, I have found 2 solid options to deal with this, the first of which being special moves that move you forward. Moves such as Urian's short chariot tackle, Bison's short scissor kick, and Karen's Tenko are able to chase down the distance covered from Vega's V-Reversal, leading to some decent damage and neutral back in our favor. The second option we have for dealing with his V-Reversal are long-range normals. Moves like Karen's crouching roundhouse, Bison's crouching roundhouse, and Mika's crouching fierce punch allow us to safely punish the masked matador with little to no worry. Hands down, without question, the move I hear people rage about the most in Street Fighter V has to be Urian's EX Headbutt. With this move having throw, projectile, and strike invincibility from frame 1, it's easy to see why this move gets so much hate. Rest easy, my friends, because I've found the answer. Anytime we are positive, whether off a knockdown or during a block stream, we can input a light punch or light kick. The reason behind this is Urian's EX Headbutt has 12 frames to start it. With most light attacks having between 9 to 11 total frames, we can safely whiff our normal to bait Urian into EX headbutting and have enough time to recover, block, and crush counter. Additionally, Certain low-profile moves, such as Mika's and Rashid's crouching forwards, can low-profile the EX Headbutt, allowing us to recover and deal a nice chunk of damage to Urian. Urian's EX Headbutt will be changing from 15 frames of recovery to 25 frames of recovery, meaning these low-profile moves will be even more of a threat to headbutt happy Urians. Okay guys, now that we've gone over how to deal with some of the moves, it's time to tell you about the Gfinity Challenger Series, the Elite Draft, and the Elite Series. Gfinity is currently running the Challenger Series, a European point-based tournament season lasting until June 4th. Players can compete in both Contender and Competitor Cups. Contender Cups are intended for newer players and give less G-points, while Competitor Cups are intended for seasoned vets, granting a larger G-point amount. Each week, they update leaderboards with the top players and teams, as well as give those warriors the spotlight they deserve with their own hero profile. Once the Challenger Series is ended, it's time for the Elite Draft. Starting June 16th, the Elite Draft will consist of the top 30 players from the Challenger Series. 8 of Europe's finest esports teams, such as Reason Gaming, Prophecy, and Team Infused, will come together to select 2 members that will help each team as they go on to fight in the Elite Series. The Gfinity Elite Series is an astonishing 9-week series that's being held in London's very own Gfinity Arena, where all 8 teams will be battling it out for a chance at the top. Okay everyone, so that about wraps it up for this week's video. If you enjoyed the content in this video, you can follow the links in the description to my personal Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, where I not only make Street Fighter content, but speedrun games such as Sonic 1 and Pokemon. Also, you can use the code DR.FATBODY to get a free 2-month subscription to CrossCounter TV, your home for all things fighting games featuring the homies such as Gutex, Mike Ross, and many more. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Street Fighter V videos to come.